Hi there guys, welcome to Dino's World and surprise, today I have the Royal Enfield Guerilla 450, the most fun, the most agile and the most nimble motorcycle Royal Enfield have ever made to date. So how does it stack up against the rest in the segment or the best in the segment? We're going to find out in this video. So without further ado, let's get started. Now the segment, when you look at it, the 400cc class is buzzing with activity with the likes of the Speed 400, the Pulsar NS400Z, the Duke 390, the Dominar 400. So how does the Guerilla 450 fit into this to outsmart the rest or outclass the rest or outlast the rest? We're going to find out. So starting with the design. When you look at the design is purely subjective because seamless, classy design might appeal to some, whereas a sporty, radical design might appeal to some of the others. But here, looking at the Guerilla 450, this matte silver color is the classiest look and design silhouette I've seen and felt in this segment. It's seamless, it's progressive, it's modern, it's urban, it's contemporary and it's beautiful all at the same time. Almost all the bikes in this comparo seem to have a cohesive and compelling design. The Duke is typical KTM radical design. The Dominar is a power cruiser design silhouette. The Speed T4 or the Speed 400 get a retro roadster design. The Guerilla though is a simple retro roadster design, and it's one of the finest looking bikes in the entire Royal Enfield brigade or brand wagon. It looks appealing from almost every angle. It is built well, gets all the right equipment, and most importantly gets all the proportions right, making it a simple, muscular, tactical roadster design. Now talking about the engine, power and torque. Now the Duke clearly takes the lead here in terms of power, but when it comes to the amazing torque delivery, the Guerilla stands supreme because it has a flat torque curve with 40 PS of power and 40 Newton meters of torque. It has torque on demand, which gives you the abundance of torque consistently across the rev band at the ring of the throttle. Looking at the likes of Dominar 400 and the Speed 400, they get a good blend of power and torque. But what makes the Guerilla stand out is the flat torque curve. When the torque number is the same as the power, it means we get a flat torque curve across the rev band with abundance of torque evenly spread throughout the rev range. Now this means enough overtaking power in every gear at the ring of the throttle. Now the next most important thing for Indian riders is seat height. Now the Guerilla gets the shortest seat height among its rivals at 780 mm, making it easily accessible for average as well as shorter riders, such that they can put their feet down and feel comfortable and play around with the motorcycle, be it in chock-a-block city traffic or any other terrain they might find themselves on. Now the others in the segment also offer decent seat height of 800 mm and thereabouts. So the shorter seat height tends to give the rookie riders or shorter riders or even women folks out there more confidence, as they can flat foot easily while sitting on the bike. In case of other bikes, they might have to tiptoe while taking sharp U-turns or when they find themselves on some challenging terrain, which might not make them feel comfortable and might result in them tipping over. Hence, I would advocate the Guerilla 450 for those who are concerned about ride height or saddle height, because this offers accessible seat height for shorter as well as average height riders, as well as for women folks who are getting started with their riding culture or riding routine. I think this will make them feel far more comfortable. Next, talking about the lighting. Now the Guerilla 450 gets LED lighting all around, be it the headlamp or the stop lamp or the turn blinkers. Now if you are wondering where the stop lamp is, it's very neatly and cohesively integrated into the turn blinkers, making it very seamless and a progressive design. Next, talking about the seat. So not only is the seat easily accessible, it's also well spaced out, offering adequate space for the rider as well as the pillion, making it a good commuter and a usable motorcycle in all conditions. Now the other bikes in this comparo also offer decent space for the pillion, but the seat cushioning seems to be slightly better in the Guerilla comparatively. The seat on the Triumph, however, is a little narrow, so slightly wider, well cushioned seat works to our advantage, such that saddle comfort is well taken care of at the end of it all. Now talking about the weight. Now weight plays a crucial role in a motorcycle because it doesn't have to wear you down after every ride. So now talking about the Guerilla, it is the heaviest of the lot, tipping the scale at 185 kilos. But does it work to its advantage? Yes, it does, because in terms of dimensions, it has the longest wheelbase. In terms of height, width and length also, compared to the competition, it is the longest, widest and the tallest, offering good balance and poise and a planted feel, especially when you take it to the highways, offering rock solid stability. Now the lightest of the lot has to be the KTM, weighing in at just 165 kilos. Now though it is absolutely super agile and nimble to play around with, the flip side to this is the fact that it has the tendency to get ruffled by the crosswinds when you take it to the highways. Now that isn't the case with the Guerilla. Though it is slightly heavier, that adds to the advantage of making it a lot more stable and a lot more confidence inspiring when you take it to the freeways. Now another practical thing about a motorcycle is ground clearance, especially when you're going to ride it through the city streets, because of the massive speed breakers we need to tackle on a daily basis. Now the Guerilla 450 offers ample ground clearance of 169 mm, ensuring that you are not put in a spot of bother each time you take it out for a ride through the urban environment. Now the next is a real surprise. Not very often do you see Royal Enfield offering the widest tires in the segment. Now Guerilla 450 stands out here, offering a 120 section front and a 160 section rear tire. Wider tires means better road grip. Also, the bike offers Showa suspension, which is best in class again. Now, though Duke offers WP suspension, it is slightly stiffer, more inclined to be enjoyed on a racetrack rather than our regular roads and streets. Now, the Guerilla offers ideal damping settings that would absorb undulations on city roads while also offering rock solid stability while riding on the highway. Now talking about the front forks, we get telescopic forks from Showa here, whereas the likes of the Speed 400 and others offer USD forks. The Triumph Speed 400 gets endurance front forks, whereas this one gets Showa suspension. And Showa versus endurance, we know which one is better. Now when you look at the likes of the Duke 390 or the Pulsar NS400Z, they do get 320 mm disc, which is larger front disc. The Guerilla 450 gets a 310 mm disc up front and also gets a 270 mm rear disc, which is the largest in segment. When you look at the Guerilla 450, it has good progressive braking that gives you confidence inspiring stopping power and a sense of reassurance each time you drop the anchor. Now primarily the Guerilla is presented as a city muscle concept, and that's the reason for the chunky tires. It does look the part, especially in this smoke silver color scheme. It is more like Coke Studio or live music where your feelings come alive as you ride the machine. Now that's what every bike is meant to do. I mean, establish that connect and establish that bond with the rider, and that happens the moment you swing your leg over the Guerilla and start riding. Now coming to the conclusion, now the Guerilla 450 might not beat the hell out of the rest of the bikes in this comparo when it comes to outright specs or features, but it does offer something unique and special and something different beyond the spec sheet, and that's what makes it stand out among its rivals. As I mentioned earlier, it's like Coke Studio music. It's not just one thing that stands out, it's the coming together of multiple elements, just like multiple musicians playing in perfect harmony. Now this is an unchained melody, an a cappella harmony. It's classy, practical and versatile, and comes loaded with the right dose of electronics and top-notch equipment, making it an urban legend. So I guess that's pretty much it. This wraps up a quick fire comparo of the Guerilla 450 taking on the rest and the best in the segment. I would encourage you to take a test ride, a long and satisfactory test ride, to understand what it has on offer. And what is your pick among the kind of bikes that we have looked at in today's comparo? Feel free to comment below and let me know. If you like what you see and want to see more pure automobile content, stay tuned to Dino's Vault, and I'll catch you guys next time with yet another video.